My name is Chico Holiday. I am the Public Utilities General Manager for the tribe. My tribal status, I am a tribal member. My family is derived from the Smith family and the Holidays. Um, my age right now is to be determined. Would that work? Okay. Salary range, I'm not going to answer that one. What kind of education is required for your job? Uh, there is a number of qualifiers for that. One of them is years of experience for the position, and also, I'm not real sure the education part of it. So I think it was like associate's degree or something like that. Um, I graduated in 93. I worked for the sawmill for 12 years, around there. Then I came into the wastewater field, kind of I just say it like a stepping stone to figure out what I'm going to do next. And it kind of found me as an opportunity, and I took it. I just say it like a stepping stone to figure out what I'm going to do next. And it kind of found me as an opportunity, and I took it. So what that led to where I'm at now, I've been in the wastewater industry aspect of it for about 26 years now. Through that, wastewater distribution, collections, water treatment. Was a tribal plumber, commercially, residentially for 8-9 years, along with some carpentry and other things as assigned, I should say. The purpose of my job is to ensure the tribal membership have access to clean drinking water, and also the wastewater side of it as well, I would say. Okay, because there's a number of systems that we operate here. We operate 4 wastewater systems and 3 water systems. Okay, so that includes Simnasho, Sidwalter, Sequoia, and the agency itself. They all have their own separate systems. My job varies day to day. So that's why you'll see me here partially. So out of 5 days a week, I'm typically in clocked in for work, but 80% of the time, it's usually a 50-50, depends on the scenario and what happens throughout the day, but I'm usually out in the field or back in here. So some days I'm required to be out there with my staff out in the field. Other days I'm in here catching up on regular paperwork. My main one would be communication is a key. That would entail, when I already mentioned, I hate interviews, so I do not like those at all. Don't like talking about myself. I like sharing the work that we do here for the tribe and for the benefit of the people, because that's what our job entails. It's not about this district, that district, but as a tribe as a whole, all 3 tribes combined. So that's one of the key things for me is transparency, and also making sure that everybody has access to that. The favorite part of my job is knowing that I go home every single day knowing that I did what I can for that day. But as if you see this board over here, I presented this to Tribal Council here about a week ago. This list, it's a list of projects that I'm working on. Some of these projects take a number of years to get funding for. But once we do receive those fundings, I'm really excited about it. I get really happy about it, ecstatic about it, because a lot of times these monies are really hard to get and they're competitive grant monies. And so one of the major accomplishments that I could honestly and proudly say I'm really super proud about and happy about is a water treatment plant. So our water treatment plant was designed and built in 1981. Well, through all those years, lack of uh, budget funds for operation and maintenance dollars for that, that system has gone downhill, so to speak. But at the same time, we already knew that it needed to be replaced at some point. So we're working on designing and building a brand new facility for the tribe. So a number of years ago, there's boil water notices and all that. So we're gonna right now, with all the work that we've done up to this point, it's very minimal. We have had only, I believe, in the last 2-3 years, we only had 2 boil water notices, and they were because caused by a construction company. So from there, that's one of the largest accomplishments that I could say that I was a part of and really proud of, because through all my documentation, years of experience and data collection, and working with Indian Health Services and a bunch of federal agencies, was able to secure $25 million in 2 years. That has unheard of, unprecedented. So that's one of my highlights of my life being here in this capacity. I would honestly say that the least favorite part of it is telling people no. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes our budgets or sometimes the rules and regulations set forth for some of these projects do not allow certain things. So that's where I feel is the least favorite part of the job. And so if you had an issue at home and I can't go over there and fix that for you, I feel bad about it, and I try to find a way to get that fixed. And if I can't find any money within our budget, I go and try to seek other funding opportunities or other folks to help assist with that. And that sometimes that delay could be a couple of weeks, a couple of months, sometimes even a year before those funds become available. So that's the hardest thing for me, is telling people, no, I can't help you. Oh, I did it again. I would tell you, and I just had this conversation a little bit ago in another meeting that I had, and it holds true to them. Dream big, dream. Dreams are free. Follow your dream. But what's going to cost you is your time. Time is invaluable. You can't get that back. And then the next thing would be is like if you're not ready to go to school to become a doctor, maybe there's a trade school out there that you might like, that you may, I would say, click with. Because for me, I wanted to go to school, but then I had family problems at home that I quit my job to take care of my grandfolks. And so from there, that's where I was saying that I kind of fell into the wastewater side of it. But I had a knack for plumbing, and I got along well with it really quickly and adapted to it real fast. So that's where my passion kind of fell in line with, because I like helping people and all of that. So that's kind of how that worked out for me. Sometimes dreams can be delayed and they still can come to fruition. So it's like putting them on hold and doing it later, right? So Public utilities. Public utilities provide services to the tribal membership, to the workforce of the tribe. Tribal utility is also tribal building maintenance, water, wastewater, custodial, building to permit process, making sure that your home is built to code, to the state laws and regulations. The other one is, on the unfortunate side, is we manage all the funeral sides of it. So if you have a loss of a loved one, we usually help take care of all that as well. And so one of the main things for me personally is ensuring that everybody has access to safe drinking water and wastewater disposal. So the services that that I mentioned just a second ago was, assistance with funerals. Also, the other services is tribal building maintenance. If you work at a facility, we manage those facilities. We repair those facilities. The other one is water and wastewater. So again, that leads from directly from the water treatment plant to when you open up the faucet to your house, water comes out, and then from there you shower, you wash dishes, your lavatory. When you flush the toilet, the water has to go somewhere, right? So we provide those services as well. Not every home is situated on the city sewer. Some of them are private septic tanks, but we provide a service for that as well to help with that. I think those will also reflect back to what number one is, what is public utilities and how that goes. So part of my job, I would say part of it is seeking funds, federal funds, state funds, private funds even at that point, is trying to secure funds to make sure that we have safe drinking water and provide that data and information so we can secure those funds. So like I mentioned up here earlier about some of this stuff up here, we got some grant monies that we applied for. We've got selected for them. One of the main ones up there on the top right now is the Pacific Power and Light's EV charger system. That grant was $227,000. What that did is paid for installation and purchasing of EV charger system electric vehicles, but they're also going to buy me a truck for that. So that's part of the electrifying the U.S. again, and also the tribe. The only other ones that have that type of system is at the casino parking lot for the EV chargers. So we're excited about that. The other one is the water meter project. That's $2.4 million. The water filtration project, that's $6.25 million. The EC HVAC replacement, removal and replacement, that was $1.3 million. So those projects alone are all federal funds. And so having that data to apply for those grants and to get funding for that, there's a huge process for that, and it takes time. Oh, I did it again. Good. Okay. What all areas do you service to? I mentioned agency here, Simnasho, Sequoia, Sid Walter, Schooley Flat. Yeah. And everything in between. Workers. So that one would be, we follow a lot of the OSHA rules and guidelines. But we also, and through my experience, we also have what we call PPE, protective equipment. So we have a lot of that. And we also have, trainings for them as well. That is a very good question, and I'm glad that you brought that up. So, I will say this in the most kindliest manner that I can. There's folks that sat in a lot of these positions that were well in their 50s, 60s on up and in key positions. And as technology advanced, like right now, we have smartphones, we have iPhones, iPads. As 40 years ago, they were unheard of. The very first phones that they came out as a mobile device, it looked like a suitcase. It was a battery pack. So for them and the computers and everything that is generated from that time to now, a lot of them, it's really hard to teach them how to interact with that, how they work, how they function. And like the generation that they have now in the last 5 to 10 years, I think they're a lot more tech savvy than most older generation, is because they can get on a phone, they could figure out the different applications that they have, TikTok, Snapchat, and all that, Facebook, and all that stuff. Some of the older ones, they don't have that. They don't know how to use it. Some of the software programs like Microsoft Excel, Word document, stuff like that, they don't know how to interact and how to navigate through those processes. And so I embrace it because I am kind of caught in the middle of all that, where back in the day, the very first games that we had were the Nintendo. Now it's moving forward, it's the PS5 now and all that. So a lot of that has evolved and changed. And so through even our work here, we're incorporating the stuff that we're doing with the technology now. We're encroaching on the old style and moving that forward. So as before, and I don't know if you guys ever took a tour of the water treatment plant, everything was manually operated. So in order to go to a pump, you turn this switch on, you turn this switch on, you do this, you do that. Now just go there, push a button, and the computer will do everything for you. That's how it's set up and designed now. So it's the same way with all these maps that you see over here. We got paper maps, but just like everything else, if it's not digitalized, it's really hard to pull up. So when I left and came back, I brought a lot of the experience that I had here on the outside, and then vice versa, because we have to balance that from our, I would say, our indigenous side to our European side. We have to adapt both of those worlds in order to make it work. And so I figured that if we could do that, create a balance for that, we could be better. We could always improve. That's my motto. We could always improve one way or another, whether it's in the process itself or how things are completed.
Thank you.